All right, let's get cooking. Welcome to the latest edition of Chin Check Sports Radio. I'm your host, JD. I want to thank you all for taking the time out to join us. And as always, we welcome any suggestions, feedback, comments, and criticisms, which improves the quality of our program, which ultimately improves your listening experience. Now, before I get started this week, at Chin Check Radio, we want to send you all our well wishes during the current pandemic of COVID-19. As we always state, we know that it is the uncertainty that fuels our anxiety to everything that's going on. But let's continue to do our part by wearing our masks, washing our hands, and practicing proper social distancing to continue to combat the spread of this virus. And if we could serve as a distraction to everything that's going on, and that's something that we will continue to do. We also thank you all for your support. People definitely love our program, and they love our content, and we continue to bring you quality programming as well as content. Now, before I get started, I wanted to go a little bit personal about me this week. For those of you who paid attention, I was really unable to broadcast last week, for I was fighting a serious illness. I don't mind putting my information out there, but I was diagnosed with a bout of shingles, and shingles is very serious and it's very real. So that's the reason why, and not even so much being or having shingles, but really being on all types of medication. I was taking all types of antibiotics and all types of antiviral medicine. So needless to say, it slowed me down. Wasn't in my right frame of mind. It was very hard trying to eat a meal because I'm not really a medicine person. I mean, I have to really be sick in order for me to even take a regular aspirin. So being diagnosed with the shingles, obviously had to take all the medication that was prescribed by the doctor, so it wasn't easy trying to communicate. Even friends and family, I had to text them and tell them I was going to call them really in a few days once I got used to the medicine, and the medicine kind of made me a little bit nauseous. But we're back. We're not 100% yet. We're about a good 90%, and that's good enough for us. We continue to want to be 100%, but right now I couldn't let another week go by without telling you guys what we had going on. So thank you for your well wishes, all my friends and family, and we so much appreciate it. Now, before we get started, we want to send our deepest condolences to the family of Hall of Fame running back Gale, who's usually in the conversation as one of the greatest pure running backs of all time. Of course, Gale Sayers was a little bit before our time, so we didn't have a chance to watch Gale Sayers, but we have watched enough videos and highlights of Gale Sayers and know that he definitely was an inspiration to other future running backs, most notably one in Barry Sanders, and we had the privilege of watching him grow up. And we know that there was a famous friendship between him and the late Brian Piccolo that was featured in a movie called Brian's Song, starring Piccolo D. Williams and James Caan. So to the family of Gale Sayers, to the Hall of Fame running back, we definitely wish you all our deepest condolences. And to Gale Sayers, champ, you definitely rest in peace. Now, 2020 Dallas Cowboys Week 3. Of course, we couldn't broadcast about the Cowboys' epic comeback against the Atlanta Falcons in Week 2. We're probably going to go back and do a broadcast on that. But we definitely wanted to cover Week 3 and a 38-31 loss to the Seattle Seahawks on the road. Folks, we have a lot to discuss here. The Dallas Cowboys had 522 total yards of offense, 481 passing yards, only 61 rushing yards. Quarterback Dak Prescott, 37 of 57, 472 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, but one was thrown at the end of the game and was sacked 2 times. Running back Ezekiel Elliott, 14 carries, 34 yards, 1 touchdown. Quarterback Dak Prescott, 6 carries, 26 yards, and some crucial first downs. Wide receiver Michael Gallup, 6 catches, 138 yards, 1 touchdown. Wide receiver Cedric Wilson, 5 catches, 107 yards, 2 touchdowns. Amari Cooper, 9 catches, 86 yards, and rookie sensation CeeDee Lamb, 5 catches and 65 yards. On the defensive side, Trayvon Diggs, another rookie sensation, 9 total tackles, 9 solo. Linebacker Joe Thomas in for the injured Leighton Vander Esch, 8 total tackles, 4 solo. Linebacker Jalen Smith, 8 total tackles, 4 solo. And defensive end / linebacker Aldon Smith, 4 total tackles for solo, 3 sacks, and 2 tackles for a loss. Folks, there's a lot to digest in this game. There's a whole lot to digest. To be really honest about it, folks, the Dallas Cowboys are pretty much one fluky onside kick away from being 0-3 right now. This is not looking good. This is not how anybody thought that the Mike McCarthy era would get started. There are so many issues here, and issues that have really been here since week 1 that really showed itself in week 2. That again, the Falcons and their epic collapse, and they had another collapse today. But for not these things, the Cowboys should be sitting at 0-3 right now. It is not very encouraging by what I'm saying, even though I was halfway out of it last week. But I felt that onside kick really hit the sins of a lot of the Cowboys' failures, and they did everything they could to blow that Falcons game. And if anything, the Falcons snatched defeat from victory. And let's get into some of the issues that I had with this game. Folks, special teams. You hear offense, you hear defense. Special teams, I have a missed point after try. Greg the Leg Zerline, who knows what's going on over here. I also have a blocked point after. So you have a missed kick, a block kick. That's 2 points left off the board right there. And with your block kick, clearly that is a blocking protection plan. That is you being beat by the opposing team. Okay, I understand missed kicks happen. That's part of the game. Kickers are paid to kick, but hey, it is what it is. Things happen. But when you're talking about blocked points, that's something that you spend a lot of time in special team meetings going after. You look at formations. You look at how the defense is lining up, and all you have to do is simply do your job. So when you're beaten and with kicks or point after tries are blocked, that pretty much shows lack of effort by your blocking team. That's a problem, and that needs to get fixed. Also with the fumble as well by Tony Pollard deep in Cowboys territory that resulted in a safety. So definitely not a good look from the special teams. And really, again, going back to that Falcons game, I got 2 missed fake punts. And again, if it wasn't for that onside kick, we'd be talking about the sins of the Dallas Cowboys and their special teams. Last week kind of washed away some of the filth and stench, but this week it came back to haunt them again. So special teams seems to be an issue. Why do the Cowboys always seem to come out flat? Yeah, they'll come out those opening drives, and they'll do what they have to do, and then all of a sudden they go into a shell. I don't understand it. That's a serious problem. I don't get it. And even today with the offense, again, they fall behind. They keep falling behind until for some reason, much like the Falcons game last week with Michael Gallup, even with the Rams game on that controversial pass interference call against Michael Gallup, it wasn't until they're down and out where they finally discover Michael Gallup that he is truly their deep threat. So you have CeeDee Lamb, you have Amari Cooper, who are seen to be your intermediate threats, while Gallup is your deep threat. And I don't have a problem with that, but why is it the team always has to come from behind where it starts with Michael Gallup? Because he caught 2 bombs, and that pretty much opened the offense wide open. And for the life of me, I don't understand why they went away from Gallup, because he clearly had Griffin, which is number 21, the Seahawks DB, clearly had him beat, was given a lot of space, a lot of cushion. Gallup knows how to get separation, and for the life of me, I don't understand why you wouldn't exploit that matchup, considering that throughout the course of the game, all-pro safety Jamal Adams got hurt, you had guys off the street, and then I don't feel they exploited that matchup. I don't feel they exploited the matchup enough, but that's something that they should have continued to really use Michael Gallup. And then with Cedric Wilson catching his touchdown passes, so that's why you see the picture on your screen. That's why I have the 2 of them as the Chin Check Radio Week 3 players of the 2020 season. Another thing, I thought the running game played very well. Let me phrase that. The running defense, I thought, did a solid job stifling that Seahawks running game. The problem, and I'm seeming to be eating my words here, what I thought was going to be a strength has now become a weakness. I don't know what the problem is on the defensive line, but they are generating no pass rush. Even though Aldon Smith has 3 sacks, those were 2 sacks in the first half and 1 sack late in the game, but it was really, I'm saying in the fourth quarter, but it was time to really step up, really get pressure on Russell Wilson. I didn't see anything, and by the way, I got a defensive end making $20 million, and they can tell me about whether it's harder for them to be in the 3-point stance or whether it's in the 2-point stance. I don't give a damn. A good player is a damn good player. So to me, that's something where I'm still not getting a pass rush. Everson Griffin, haven't heard anything from Everson Griffin, haven't heard anything from from DeMarcus Lawrence. And I think it's something where if your best defensive player, and he has been the best defensive player by now, is a guy who has not played football in 2015, that's good on him. That's bad on everybody else. Where a guy who has not played ball in 5 years, who is clearly 20 to 30 pounds heavier than he was at his ideal playing weight, is your best player. And I got Everson Griffin, I got Dontari Poe, I got DeMarcus Lawrence, and I'm still not getting any pass rush whatsoever. And it's something that has come back for 3 straight weeks now, and I still have issues on the defensive line. I don't know what Mike Nolan is doing. I don't know what type of defensive front that they're trying to run. They put in this guy, Tristan Hill, who had a controversial roughing the passer penalty that gave Seattle another shot at getting a 2-point conversion, which made which forced the Cowboys to score a touchdown, or attempt to score a game-winning touchdown. And these are the things, or the issues, that the mental issues. Let me phrase it. I'm not going to say mental issue. I'm talking about football IQ. There were issues about his football IQ coming out of college, and those are things like that makes you wonder about this person. Not a very smart player, but our defensive line, I don't see any pass rush. At one point, you can see throughout the game that they were totally stonewalled. Now, I'm talking about frozen in their tracks, where the Seattle offensive line used to look like the Cowboys offensive line from 2014 and 2016, where guys were just stopped in their tracks, not generating any pressure. That was very concerning. Our secondary, if you want to talk about a track meet with our secondary, this has to be fixed. The Atlanta Falcons ran wild all over the secondary the previous week, and it continued again with the Seattle Seahawks, with Tyler Lockett wide open on 3 touchdown passes. I mean, nobody even around him. Like, that's a problem. There's clearly a bust in coverage, and even with Chidobe Awuzie and Anthony Brown not being hurt, but guess what? They were being ran past last week, so I can't even blame them. Well, no, I can't excuse them because those 2 players were hurt, because, again, they were getting burned by the Falcons last week. And, again, the same problems arose this week, and everybody kind of saw it coming. If you're getting beat by an injured Julio Jones, Justin Gage, Calvin Ridley by the Falcons, you got a DK Metcalf, you got a Tyler Lockett, so not as good, but a solid receiving core. And, again, your secondary is turning into a track meet. So you're not generating any pass rush, and your secondary is getting cooked. Again, we got Russell Wilson with 5 touchdown passes. So there's something leaking in the secondary. Apparently there's a change of philosophy with Mike Nolan. I'm still trying to figure out what it is. The bright spot of the secondary is I give Trayvon Diggs all the credit in the world, never quitting on a play. He gets beat for a 60-yard deep ball. It really should have been a walk-in touchdown or sprint-in touchdown. DK Metcalf, Mr. $1 Million, decides to slow up and pretty much jog into the end zone. Diggs made a great play, punched the ball out. He gets a touchback, and I know everybody's talking about the effort played by Trayvon Diggs, and I don't take anything away from that. But I'm sorry, the fact that he was burned so bad in that play, that's another issue. But I do like what I see from Trayvon Diggs, not even making that play, but more so of him willing to come in there and make a tackle. He's coming in, I believe he had a hurt shoulder this week. So I like what I see from Trayvon Diggs. I think he's only going to get better. So we only can hope for things from him. Folks, on the offensive side, I don't know what the hell Kellen Moore was saying out there. And I don't believe you force a square peg into a round hole. Because why, oh why, were screens being called for Ezekiel Elliott, where clearly Seattle was ready for the screens? You kept trying to force screens to Ezekiel Elliott and wasn't working. And by the way, I don't know what Ezekiel Elliott was on today. Dropping passes, not lining up properly. I don't understand what he had going on today. Did he go to some dispensary up there in Seattle? I don't know what happened, but definitely wasn't one of Zeke's best games. Some of it was the offensive line in the first half, which goes into our next issue. Here's where I think you do see something from the Mike McCarthy era that you wouldn't have seen from the Jason Garrett era. Clearly the Cowboys started from last week. You have Lyle Collins hurt, future Hall of Famer Tyron Smith hurt. So you have Terrence Steele starting as right tackle, who didn't really do a bad job in week 1, gave up a late sack. Same thing with week 2, but they won the game. Then you have Brendan Knight. Excuse me, I call the man Brandon Shaw, the MMA fighter. Brendan Knight, who's now your left tackle. So, and you have Connor Williams, Joe Looney, Zach Martin. So, clearly there were issues in the first half. Dak Prescott with sacks and fumbles, and it seems to be no protection. The protection is very leaky, and clearly the Cowboys made a change, and I noticed that they had made a change. So what the Cowboys did, and that's coaching, making in-game adjustments, something that Jason Garrett had a hard time doing. Go see the Atlanta Falcons or the Dallas Cowboys playing the Atlanta Falcons in 2017 when Tyron Smith is hurt and the tackle gets beat for 6 sacks in one game. Clearly no adjustment. So what they did was they left Brendan Knight as left tackle. They left Connor Williams as left guard, and I have to look into him every now and again as well. They moved starting center Joe Looney out to right guard, put in tackle center from Wisconsin, Tyler Biadasz. They put him as center. Hopefully we can get some type of Travis Frederick magic going on. So you put the rookie in the center, move Joe Looney to the right guard spot, and move again Hall of Famer Zach Martin to the right tackle spot. And you bench Terrence Steele. And to be honest with you, I thought that was actually a great move. The offensive line, I thought they protected better. I thought Dak had better pocket awareness with his new, with a revamped offensive line. So to be honest with you, I give a hats off to Mike McCarthy and the offensive line coach for making an adjustment, because you clearly see with this guy at right tackle, it's just not working out and there's too many issues. And I thought that the line kind of solidified itself as the game went on. So I thought that was very good. I give those guys credit, and I think that's coaching. That's what you do as a coach. If something's not working, then you should make those adjustments, and that's something that during the Jason Garrett era, we didn't see a lot of. So definitely, I don't have a problem with that. I thought it was a good move. Again, now going towards the finality or the conclusion of this game, I felt that drive where the Cowboys kicked the field goal to go back on top. I told my boy Jeremy, I said, I didn't like that final offensive drive, even though they drove the ball the length of the field and they chewed up a lot of clock. But it seems that once he got in field goal range, the offense kind of stalled, and I said, I don't like that. I'd rather have punched the ball in the end zone. Now you have to make Seattle work, because Seattle ended up scoring the game with a touchdown anyway. So I didn't like that stalling towards the end, where even when they kicked the game with a field goal, or the field goal that put them on top, 32-31, I felt that they should have punched it inside the end zone. And it's one of those things where you allow Seattle kind of back in the game, and even though, they would have had to score the touchdown anyway, but it kind of puts more of the pressure on them going for a touchdown versus going for a field goal. So I felt that was kind of a wasted, at least towards the end, kind of a wasted possession. And yes, I know they kicked the game with a field goal, but again, they should have tried to score a touchdown. Now, the very last play when the Cowboys needed a touchdown. Now, my man Stancil texted me, was like, what the hell are they calling? And I was trying to figure it out too, but they were moving the ball down the field. They had all 3 of their timeouts. They're moving the ball down the field. Now they discovered Zeke Elliott, or Zeke Elliott, he discovered the ball, ends up catching some passes. They tried a ridiculous screen again. And you almost thought it was going to be a play of the year. Well, before that, the offensive line gave up a sack at the worst times. And I did tweet that. And Dak is about to get sacked again by former Cowboy Benson Mayowa, who had an interception turn for a touchdown. And you would have thought that he had Dak Prescott did the rights. Dak spins out, maintains his balance like old school Barry Sanders. Maintains his balance, heaves the ball into the end zone. You see a bunch of white jerseys there, and next thing you know, the play is intercepted by a Seattle player fresh up off the practice squad. So yes, another great effort, another spirited performance. But the problem is that's not what you're supposed to see against quality teams. Yes, they put up a great fight. Yes, they fought back tooth and nail. Yes, they never quit. But the thing is, I need to see wins. And these issues that they're having, falling behind early, having to make all these comebacks, not having a pass rush. Your secondary is a track meet in your secondary. These are things that need to be corrected very quickly because yes, with the way the NFC East is looking, they just might back into the playoffs playing in a very weak division, and that's just the way it is. They just might back into the playoffs, but they're not going to go far. You're clearly not going to beat the elite teams. For what we see, the Seattle, the Rams, the Cardinals, the Saints, the Packers, you're not going to beat these teams with this product that I'm seeing on the field. While I'm seeing a secondary that is Swiss cheese, I'm seeing a pass rush that is non-existent. These are things that need to be fixed and need to be fixed ASAP when they go into playing the Cleveland Browns next week at 1 o'clock, playing Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry and Nick Chubb. So we're going to see what they do next week. But this definitely was another hard-fought game, but a bitter pill to swallow because a loss is a loss. And as Hall of Fame coach Bill Parcells once said, you are what your record says you are, and the Cowboys are 1-2. And again, they're an onside kick away from being 0-3. So these are issues that they're going to have to work out and that they're going to have to correct when they go into week 4. So this is Chin Check Radio. Again, we are feeling so much better. We're glad to be back broadcasting. And it's something that we're going to continue to do what we love because we definitely enjoy this. So until the next time, it's Chin Check Radio signing out.